Hi and welcome to today's Pilates session. I hope you're well and ready to relax for a few minutes, but also working every single muscle in your body to strengthen them, but also stretch and release the tight muscles. So come back onto your mat and we're going to lie down with the feet and the knees in line with your hip bones. Let your head relax and just allow the spine to soften into the floor. Allow yourself to feel your shoulder blades into the mat and the hands to rest by your side. Allow your the sit bones to just draw together as it just gently tightens the glutes, and roll yourself up so you feel the back soften into the floor, almost like they're a set of dominoes. So one can't move until the next one hits it and just gently nudges it all the way up. And you can just feel the hips draw towards each other, and imagine the wall in front of you is really soft, like it's made of clay, and allow your knees and your shins to soften into the wall. Collarbone softens back as if it's smiling. And then one bone at a time again, like the little dominoes, coming down, bone by bone, domino by domino, into the spine, into the floor, rolling through. Tailbone comes down last. Come back to that neutral pelvis position, so the hip bones are level, and the pelvic bone and the navel's level, and then go again, rolling through, allowing the knees to lengthen towards the wall, the hip bones stay equal as if they're drawing towards each other like little magnets, softening the ribs, allowing the pelvis to stay quite stable so it's not shaking from side to side, and slowly roll down. So the back of the neck stays long, you're not looking towards behind you, you're looking towards the knees, and rolling through again. I'm going to change this one now as we roll up, keeping the back of the neck long, the shoulders on the floor. Peel the left heel off the floor, place it back down, change legs. So without shifting the weight from side to side, otherwise your hips are going to move. So allow the hips to feel as if there's a cross from the hip bone to the opposite shoulder and it's pulling towards each other. That will help the hips stay stable. Almost like there's a magnet drawing them together on an opposite cross position. You do about 5 on each side. And then slowly roll back down as you exhale, keeping the tailbone long and your feet relaxed. And we're going to go back up again, rolling through. Keeping the neck long. Now if you manage that without the hips moving from side to side, your progression is to lift the whole foot. See how you get on. If you feel as if you're dropping the hip too much, then it could be that that side's a little bit weaker with the hips and with the obliques. So just allow the heel to move for now, rather than lifting the whole foot. So 5 on each side. Hands can help you. You can feel the hips and see what's going on. Make sure that head isn't dropping back. When you've done 5 on each side, let the hips lift up a little bit more, the knees reach towards the wall in front of you, softening the ribs. Roll yourself down through the spine, bone by bone. And roll yourself over onto your side. Well done, picking up the feet. Allowing the head to relax and open up the top knee into the oyster. Watch that top hip doesn't roll back. Slowly come back down and again lift. You can rest the head on the outstretched arm if the neck feels really tight today. Watching this top shoulder stays down. So we're doing 5 repetitions. And then we come down halfway. Lift back up, come down halfway. Lift back up, come down halfway. Lift back up, come down halfway, lift back up, come down all the way, lift up halfway, come back down, lift up halfway, come back down, lift up halfway, come back down, one more, lift up halfway, come back down, back to singles, lift and release, and lift and release, and 3, 2 more, shoulders down, ribs soft, and release, well done. Come over onto your front, onto your elbows, and press the floor away with the hands and with the elbows. Now let the body just sink down to the floor, so you feel like your shoulder blades are drawing towards each other, and then start to push the body back up towards the ceiling, and you can feel the shoulder blades retract away from each other as the body feels as if it's pressing up towards the ceiling. And then again, drop back down. Press the elbows into the floor as the body lifts back up between the arms. Hold this position, bend the right knee, 3 kicks, and release. Left side, and release. All the time focusing on and not allowing the body to sink. Keep pressing into the floor with the arms and the elbows. The spine stays up towards the ceiling. Abdominals strong, pulling them in gently towards your spine though. The navel's off the floor. Tailbone long, pelvic bone just touching the mat. So you're aiming for the middle of the glutes, middle of your right glute with your right foot, middle of the left glute with your left foot, almost like it's tracking with your hands. So your second and third finger. Last one on each side. So about 5 to 10 repetitions on each side. All the time working on these shoulders because they just want to drift. It's quite a hard move to do with your shoulders staying up there all the time. Okay, roll yourself up and we'll come over onto the other side. And we'll do the oyster on this side, so bending the knees, picking up the feet and lifting that top knee. And release, and lift. We're holding for a few seconds. And release, and lift. Watching this hip stays forward and the ribs stay soft. And release, and lift. And release, and lift. And release. So the next one we're going to hold up there. Come down halfway, lift it up. Halfway, and lift. Halfway, and lift. Halfway, and lift. Halfway, and lift. Now all the way down and lift. All the way down, up halfway. All the way down, lift up half. 2 more. Last one. Come all the way down. 5 singles. Lift. Don't lose your form. 2, 3, 4, 5. Well done. Roll over onto your front again. Come back onto those elbows. Bend the knees. Okay, so we're going to do a plank position. So even though this is your base position to start from, we're going to start to pick up the pelvic bone off the floor and the hips. And we're going to adjust the hands, pressing the elbows into the floor. Allow the tailbone to tuck under slightly, allow the ribs to drop, and allow length in the crown of the head. Now if you're okay in this position, your feet can drop to the floor, tuck your toes under, lift the knees, and being a long plank position, like you're a bridge. Imagine a river running underneath you. The elbows are on one edge of the bridge, and the feet are the other edge. And hold it steady. At any time you can come down to the knees. The feet can stay down if you want to, or the feet can lift. Allowing the shoulders to drop down. Back of the head towards the ceiling. Thinking about those shoulder blades hugging the spine. Abdominals slightly pulled in. Hips towards each other. And then come back into child's pose. Well done. So about 30 seconds, maybe a little bit longer if you want to go into 40 seconds, that's fine. Just making sure your form doesn't change at all during the move. And then slowly roll yourself up. Good work. Come into the seated position. Change the leg position, so if you normally sit with your right leg in front, change it to the left legs in front. And let the hands just rest on the thighs, and then draw the elbows in towards the waist, lifting the chest. Lovely. Turn the head to the right hand side. Drop the chin down towards the chest, roll it around, and then go back. And again. So you might feel a little bit of creaking and cracking going on. Someone said to me the other day it sounded like a crisp packet. Crinkling of a crisp packet in the back of her head, which was quite funny. And it does sound a little bit like that sometimes, but the more you do this, the more the neck will release and the tightness disappear and the less creaking and cracking going on. So about 5 to 10 in each direction. back to centre and let the head just drop from side to side. And try and let the ear go just beyond the shoulder. Really get this lovely stretch down the side of the head. Lovely. About 5 to 10 on each side. Keeping the chest lifted and the ribs soft. And keeping this position, bring the arms into what we call a Cossack position, so the fingertips are on the elbows. Breathe in from the sternum, lift as you turn. Exhale as you come back. Breathing in as you turn. Try not to lift your shoulders up by your ears. So you're turning from the opposite rib cage. If you turn to your right, your left ribs are following you. And if you turn to your left, your right ribs are following you. Think about drawing round from the bottom rib. Now your hips aren't moving at all, so your pelvic bones stay still. And the sit bones stay in the floor. Same weight on each, right and left. Shoulders are dropping down the back and hugging the spine with the tip of the shoulder blades. Lengthening through the crown of the head. It's loads to think about. And think how many times you turn during the day when you're reaching for something, maybe at the office desk, reaching to pick up the phone, reaching to pick up a pen, reaching to pick up something, piece of paper, or you're reaching across when you're cooking at the kitchen, reaching to pick up kitchen utensils, reaching to open the microwave, reaching to pick up the kettle, thinking about which muscles you actually work to do that. So every move that you do, when you're away from what you're doing today, you're watching this, you're also training your muscles. Last one on the other side. Come back to centre, relax the arms and roll your shoulders, big circles. Really get them moving. And then come back the other way, big circles. Then take the feet to one side, hold onto the top ankle, take the other arm up towards the ceiling as high as you can get it out of the waist and reach over. Allow that sit bone to stay down into the floor. And then reach forward on a diagonal. Come back over and release, change sides. Feet come over, hold onto the top foot, reach up as high as you can as you're touching the ceiling with your fingertips and reach over. The waist stays down. Think about the hip bone staying down, but really lengthen, allowing the ribs to reach up and over. Almost like you're reaching up and over a beach ball. And then come back to centre, taking the feet wide for a last move, pushing through the feet, allowing the pelvis to stay in that neutral, slightly rock forward position. So it's rolling the hips forward on the femurs. Arms come out wide, lifting the chest. Turn towards one foot. Now the opposite finger reaches towards the little toes. If you're trying to saw it off, this move's called the saw. And as you lengthen down, the opposite arm reaches away, so it's trying to stay in line with the front arm. Lift back up, lift the chest, reach over to the other side, lengthen, lower the back arm. As if someone's got your wrist and they're pulling your arm back. Coming back up and twist from the ribs and turn. Almost again like you're sitting in mud, so the sit bones stay grounded, the opposite hip stays grounded, so you get this lovely stretch. Making sure you're not collapsing into the front of the body, staying lifted, like the chest bone needs to go beyond your toes. Might mean you don't move very far, which is fine. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you can't get down to your thigh with your chest. It's what muscles you're using. If you're using the right muscles, the more you practice, the more they're going to move correctly and the more the tension will disappear. 5 to 10 on each side. And the back of the knees press down into the floor. Lovely. And when you're done, come back to centre. Bring the legs together. Give them a little bit of a shake. Come back in towards you. Holding onto the knees, lifting the chest, dropping the shoulders, and just breathing. Now just being mindful that you're not breathing up here into the top of the shoulders or the chest, but as your thighs are fairly close to your belly, as you breathe in, push your belly into your legs. And as you exhale, pull it away from the thighs. And again, breathing in, pushing into the thighs. And exhale, just gently pulling it in and lift it up towards the ribs. You're lifting off the pelvic floor. the shoulders to drop. Lovely. Thank you for joining me today. Take care, and if you get a chance you can always practice this straight again afterwards, or another time during the day, or another time during the week. It's not a problem at all. And just focus on what you do during the day, how you move, what muscles you're working, allowing those shoulders to relax. If you do feel tense at all, if you're in the car at a red light and you're really cross about something, just allow those few moments while you're waiting for the lights to change to roll your shoulders, or just allow the head to do some head turns. Okay, so just really allows that tension to release. Keeping the chest lifted and keeping the length in the crown of your head will really help the muscles work each side of the spine, all the way down to those abdominals, all the way down to the tailbone. Okay, take care, and I'll see you soon.